All right, welcome to the community meeting for November 29th, 2022. We'll get started by talking about the milestones. We've got, first of all, we had a holiday last week, Thanksgiving, so not a lot of changes since our last community meeting, but we'll talk through it. 1.9, I'd say no updates there, no planned releases. I think we've been pretty stable with 1.9. So just to double check, I haven't looked at the boards here today, but yeah, nothing in 1.9 that's blocking or anything. So I think 1.9 is looking fine. 1.10, then let me go back to this. We did have the 1.10.6 release a couple of Thursdays ago. The release notes are there for that one. And then our biweekly cadence would be this coming Thursday, December 1st, for the 1.10.7. I think that'll be fine to go ahead and keep that. We may not have as many changes this release since last week. At least I was off. Other people were on, so we've got a few changes. I think we'll just keep that cadence. But yeah, in the 1.10 board, nothing in blocking column, and I think these other ones are just kind of standard things that are nice to have as they progress. I don't know, Alexander, any thoughts on 1.10?
Not really. I would love to get the. Well, no. For 1.10, no, nothing.
Okay.
For 1.11, though.
1.11 then. Yeah, 1.11. Haven't put a more specific date in there. I'll try and do that by the next meeting. But yeah, still planned for mid-January, which that's coming up already in 6 weeks or so. So we should get a date on the board there. And yeah, 1.11 is feeling like not some real major changes. It'll just be kind of our next incremental release and trying to get some of these work items done. But honestly, we're tending more and more to, I feel like, backport new features even to our existing releases like 1.10 right now, since they're not tending to be big or breaking or risky features since we're a stable project. But yep, 1.11, we'll see what we need to talk about, what big things we need to consider. But honestly, there's not a lot that we've been talking about as far as features. But Alexander, did you have something for 1.11 then?
Yeah, well, I hope that we can get the automated Helm doc generation there, or like the at least automatic Helm docs generation that Suhair is working on, merged till then, and maybe even the CRD documentation that it's automatically generated in for 1.11 right now. Yeah, would be cool to have this resolved finally, I guess.
Great. Yeah, generated documentation. When there's so many settings, it's always better. Yeah. So we're not missing things for sure.
Yeah, like the main, maybe to, I guess, already talk a little bit about that. The main aspect is really just that instead of having it in the documentation file and in the CRD, that we just only have the documentation on the CRDs themselves, on the types.go file, probably, and then have that auto-generated out into like, into the actual Markdown for the documentation. And yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't forget about updating it, like, I don't want to say every time, but like, that we don't forget to update it once in a while then with a new option or something, but it's just then like oh, CI failed, why? Oh, I forgot to auto-generate the documentation and commit it as well. And
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that sounds good. I mean, maybe we could make build to also generate the docs automatically, but we've already got separate commands for things that like this. I think it's fine if it's just separate. Because I think make CRDs, for example, is automatically part of just a make build.
Yeah, I think it might, like, I don't know how Zero plans to implement it at the moment, but I think it'll probably be either like a separate check for the docs check. That's where currently the Helm docs check is being added with the Just like a git diff exit code flag, so it exits with like a non-zero code if there's changes. So at least for the documentation there. I think let's talk about that again, or like in the ticket then, when Suhair is ready with his PR. I would say right now.
Yeah, that sounds good. So we got the link to the PR there in the community topics. So yeah, we'll follow up on the PR. And looking forward to the CRD documentation generation as well.
Basically, same applies. That like the PR for the Helm docs is there, looks good. From my side at least, like obviously someone else, please take a look as well, as it's someone from Kur. And for the CID generation, he's still working on that PR. So yeah.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. So I think that was all for the milestone checkup as well. So in the community topics, there's just one more bullet we haven't already talked about. Just pointing out, yesterday I got an email that the maintainer track is open for KubeCon in Amsterdam for April. So by the end of January, we need to submit that. As far as deciding, do we speak in person? Do we try virtual? I'm hoping it's not virtual, and I'm hoping we can just be there. Yeah, tired of these virtual events personally. So looking forward to being there in person. And I guess that's not too far from you, Alexander. So you're probably going to be there anyway.
I'll hop on the train and I'll be there.
Right. Short train ride, or how far is it for you?
It's
a few hours. I'm sure.
I would put it at like maybe 6 hours at max, which is might sound like much, but it's like reasonable, like especially for that distance.
Nice. Yeah, a little better than my 10 or 12 hour flight. Well, maybe less. We'll see.
I mean, I feel like trains are always a lot easier too. There's more time. There's more like space to kind of relax and less, security to deal with.
Yeah, like after my flight to the US also, like I enjoyed the trains to the airport more than a flight in the end, because like it's like this, oh, I want to go to like grab a snack, and I'll just stand up and go to the board bistro, to the onboard bistro or restaurant, depending on what kind of train it is. And well,
yep. Yeah, so we'll see. Hopefully we can get there in person, all normal again. And we'll see. I haven't on their website, I was just looking, I haven't seen it. There's no health and safety protocols published yet. That's in the past been a little restrictive as far as getting there. So we shall see. Any other comments about KubeCon? Yeah. All right. Well, Siobhan and Blaine, welcome. I think we covered all the milestone checkup and community topics that are in the agenda already. Alexander and I did. But any other topics you want to go back to, or comments or questions? The short agenda for the day. Oh, go ahead.
Nothing right now. Nothing. Yeah.
Okay. Alexander, I was going to ask, is there any follow-up discussion that we need to have as far as what we just started last week from your design document?
Let's talk about it at the next community meeting.
I
got some more feedback as well from someone, like for example, changing the name to be a bit more, let's say, shorter and a little bit more to the point. And all on like, yeah, let's talk about it at the next community meeting. I'll have something more ready then.
Sure. Sounds good. Alrighty. With that, then, there was an action item I just want to mention to follow up on. What was it? Oh, for Slack, we talked about last time, we should get, so I added all the maintainers as workspace admins. So if people, hopefully all the maintainers should be able to like delete messages that are duplicate or whatever, workspace admins. Shouldn't need to use that power very often, but sometimes it's useful. And then Alexander, I also need to get back to you on being able to add more users to the GitHub repo.
Oh, yeah.
I looked at that before the holiday and need to get back to that. So didn't quite figure it out. Well, so far it looks like the only way to do it is that owners of the organization can only add people to the org. So we may just
Okay.
need to do that. Yeah. So I just want to take one more look.
Maybe we can, I don't know, try reaching out also to the CNCF. Maybe I could let me know like if you find anything. If not, like I'll reach out to them and see what they tell us.
I mean, yeah, the GitHub, just the GitHub access, right? They're kind of fine grained, but doesn't seem like they do what we want either. So just adding people to the org doesn't seem like that big of a permission, right? That would require owners, but that's how it's acting.
Well, let's see.
Okay. So I'll take that action item. And then, okay, I think that's all I have. Anybody else? If not, I guess we'll call it good.